The man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know. So just keep your eyes peeled, you know what's going on. When brothers out there in the camps, just keep sharp, make everything scriptural. No ad hominem attacks, no attacks on people, just stay in them scriptures. And pretty much, those of you brothers that are, in spots where you have to speak a little later because, brothers are working, whatever, once the sun goes down, get the fuck out of there, because it's getting worse and worse everywhere you go. Like Elder Pastor said, by the time the sun goes down, brothers should be the fuck out of the areas where they're at, and pretty much that's it. Just stay prayed up, keep looking, because we almost out this bitch. Lord's will, they do something drastic for the next 6 months, coming up the rest of this year, so it can push this MOTB to the max. Because once that's pushed, that's it. That's like the linchpin. Like you have the pin that holds it. The grenade is not going to explode unless you pull the pin, and release the lever, So hopefully that'll be the thing that pulls pin out of the grenade and allows it to, allow the prophecies to take hold of this place, especially the one with the MOTB, which is a micro C-hip. That way, everything can start speeding up and moving faster and faster.
Shalom. All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rachah HaKodash, double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone who rule well, peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakatum. And I'm just going to Salakia, lamb back off of the lesson the brother did, GMS Yahweh hopeful elect, which is based upon the statement Elder Apostle Ramla made regarding the times that we're in and, in terms of camp business and, the temperature that's out there now. This past weekend, it was whatchamacallit, the No Kings protest. All right, but things have been turning up and getting hotter and hotter in general. Where more demons are starting to come out there and try you. Christians are starting to roll up. There's just this very demonic spirit going on. Okay, you had a brother, basically get attacked almost fatally recently out there in Cali. Okay, so this is the worst time to take things as just a hobby to do on Saturday. Okay, or have that kind of mindset, or you're just going through the motions. Okay, this has got to be looked at as being a part of the war, on the war front. Watchmen on the watchtower, that's part of the war front. Okay, if an enemy wants to sneak in upon the city at large, and he wants to do it in stealth, more than likely he's going to target the watchman first. Okay, so it is a battle position. Although we stay spiritually minded and carnal, not carnal. Okay, we understand that in Ephesians 6, I'll just go to it. Very popular scripture, but it always comes out. It says verse 10, it says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Okay, and in NLT it says, "Put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against the strategies of the devil." Okay, see, these are strategies. Okay, getting you to go out into a protest. That's a strategy. Okay, getting you, because you think that you're some kind of force for good in the world, but Esau is going to paint you as what, a hate group. Even though he's the hateful demon, you're going to get painted as the hate group. Why? Because you're not prudent. Okay, you're not exercising wisdom, and you can't be told anything. Okay, you have to listen. All right, when wisdom speaks, and you should always have an ear for wisdom in general. You should always be examining things and being curious about things. Okay, because if you were walking through a landmine, you wouldn't just be lolly-da skipping and running through doing cartwheels. Okay, like you see a lot of these camps are in that spirit. Okay, because they don't realize the landmine, because they haven't hit one yet. They don't think that they're out there, but there is. Okay, it says, verse 11, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, it says, wherefore take you unto the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. Okay, so this is about putting 100% into this thing. Okay, all right, that goes around being circumspect, remembering the basics, the fundamentals, holding posts. Okay, being on time, communicating. All right, this is not the time to start taking on penalties. Okay, it's 4th and 2, and you lacking the discipline to just not go off sides. Okay, so although we get locked into the moment, into the spirit, we got to take care of the basics, man. Okay, and just remember what time that we're in. It was just on my spirit to say that. But I want to go back. What did I just get? Hold on. Where is it? I don't even see him. Oh well. Was it Proverbs 13? Yeah. Proverbs 13 and 16, it says, every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly. Okay, and we're the opposite of fools. We represent the wisdom. We are the light. Okay, so we are not to be getting bogged down, tangled into a bunch of heathen. Sometimes they'll come by and they'll say something stupid or smart, but we gotta let that roll off of us. Okay, because we're on a mission. Our job is just to condemn and to bid the elect to the marriage. Okay, that's our job. Okay, it's not to get into debates or yelling matches or any of that. Like Apostle Rob said, just be circumspect, man. You don't have to levy the ad hominem on every person. And some camps are more they're more forward than others. And the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord is gonna, if you're sincere, the Spirit of the Lord is gonna take care of us anyway. But that doesn't mean you don't take heed to the wisdom. Okay, if you hear the wisdom and then you just shrug it off, okay, well, the Lord might not defend you. Okay, now Lord, if you're sincere, the Lord understands, certain situations, but ultimately this is about tightening up at the end. Okay. This is where the elite get separated, okay? Let's say in the fourth quarter, those linemen, the elite linemen in the fourth quarter, and the playoffs. All right, that's where you show the difference between why somebody's a starter and why somebody's on the bench, okay? It says, verse 17, a wicked messenger fall into mischief. Okay, but a faithful ambassador is health. Okay, and a lot of you guys, you're out there to hand out flyers. Shalom, sister, come back to God's laws. Now we can't tell nobody, we can't save nobody, man. So we're not out here to get a congregation or to get a bunch of members or fruit Like I always say, we're an alarm, okay? And the alarm is sufficient for the elect, because when the elect hear the alarm, they're gonna get up and they're gonna say, what is that? They're gonna have curiosity about it. They're not gonna shrug it off, okay? They're not gonna just hear it and then go back to sleep. You know, they're gonna take action. It's gonna lead them to getting out of the building before the fire comes, okay? But these guys that are on these street corners, that like you had on Facebook yesterday, the elder put in the group chat that, you know, these guys out there in purple, you know, with gold letter on there, out there yelling at people, you know, oh, they're in a cult. You see, those individuals are at risk, okay? See, the Edomites are going to turn on them because they don't have the Spirit of the Lord on them. And it's not that they're doing anything wicked by going out there, you know. The scriptures do say, cry aloud and spare not. But if the spirit in you ain't right, if you don't read the signs, okay, and you don't you don't make adjustments, you think you just doing the work of the Lord and you ain't got to improve making adjustments. No, the Lord requires obedience, man. Okay, and how do we get that understanding of what we should and shouldn't do? We have apostles and elders to break these things down, man. Okay, and in the absence of that, you have faith in the Holy Spirit. Okay, every man of the Lord is an intrinsic leader and has the understanding on how to navigate and make a wise judgment. Okay, when it comes down to it, man, you just got to have faith, you know. But these guys, they don't really have faith. They're dry still. Okay, they're telling you that you're Israelites, but they don't really have it. But verse 18, it says, poverty and shame shall be unto him that refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. Okay, that's the elect. That's all we're out there for, man. Okay, people want to argue, why did you put devil horns on Jesus? Okay, let them, you know, because, you know, there's going to come a time where we're not going to be able to be out here at all. Okay, now Apostle Ramlov said don't be out there at night, you know, and I believe those are wise words, man. You know, you just got a lot of demonic activity that goes on at nighttime, man. Okay, and ultimately, like that's what Satan wants, you know, the opportunity. He wants you to just, I got it, I ain't got to do that. I ain't, you know, that one time you don't take a little bit of extra caution, and then something goes left, you know. And it says, verse 19, the desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is abomination to fools to depart from evil. Okay, see, they see this an abomination. Oh, you scared, you know, like IUIC say, y'all don't go out there to Prospect. You damn right we ain't going to Prospect. You know, that's a neighborhood out here where it's just really bad. It's a lot of niggatry going on out there. It's a lot of the hood, you know. Which the hood is dead. As a matter of fact, the hood is a creation for you to just go there and die. Esau didn't expect you to come out of that, man. He's waiting for you to die off, and he's gonna come in there and buy up all of that land and raise the property value back up. Okay, that's what he does, you know. But we go out in the chief place of concourse, and guess what? You still have niggas everywhere, you know. But we're catching everybody, okay? So the abomination to fools to depart from evil. See, niggas they see something going on, they got to go investigate. All right, somebody say something slick to them, they gotta amplify it up. They gotta turn it all the way up, man. Okay, this is not the time to get prematurely carnal. Okay, now if you get pressed and somebody's invading your space or threatening you, okay, that's a completely different thing. Okay, but you don't need to knick-knack, you know, engage, you know, with things, because you got agents out here, man. Okay, these protests are proof that there's a lot of agent activity going on. Okay, and it's coming to a boiling point. Okay, where you can basically see that whole No Kings thing. That was straight from the CIA. Okay. If you can't tell that, then you just been asleep. You know? So how much more so men of the Lord who we know are targets, okay, who we know they want off the streets, you know? It says, verse 20, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed, okay? And that's going to be the difference. Just having wisdom is going to be the difference on whether or not you get destroyed or not. Okay, in America, they let you walk around stupid. Half of these people are low IQ, and some of them they'll be making more money than you. You be like, God damn, you know, I'm working my ass off. This nigga got he's slow as hell. He don't know what's going on. He's soft. He don't know you know how to break things down happening in the world. But he's good because see, America allows the fool to flourish. Okay, he lets you have credit scores and buy nice things. Okay, but that's all going to be snatched away from you. Then the reality of things are gonna manifest. Okay, and the reality is, if you lack wisdom, you will die. Okay, wisdom is a requirement to live. Okay, you see. Now, not all things require as much wisdom, but you need some degree of wisdom to live. You got to know how how food, water, shelter, how to gather these things, and that's wisdom. Okay. And America, with this covering cast, they've deprived you of it. All you got to do is log onto your cell phone, and if you learn how to read, write in America, you basically gonna be all right. You know, especially if you're of the world and you're not under the curses. You know, but that's going away because these people don't know east from west. Okay, they don't know how many how many planets there are, how many moons or suns there is, or what side it rises up on. Okay, they don't know the difference between, you know, particular herbs. Everything they do is on that damn cell phone, and it's Googled. Okay, and they got short attention span, so they don't remember anything. Okay. Anyway, last one, I'm gonna close it. Let me see. Luke 22:31. It says, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. Okay. Sifting means you take a little tray. Okay. With what do you call it? A strainer tray. And then you shake it. Okay. And then all of the undesirable parts of the wheat falls out. Okay. That's what Satan's trying to do, man. Okay. We have to pray and hope that we're desirable wheat. Okay. It says, but I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Okay. So see, he says he prayed that our faith fails not. Why did he say that our faith fail? Because faith is going to be the linchpin of our deliverance, man. Okay. It's the marker of how much one believes. If you have a lot of faith, that's going to bear itself through actions. Okay. And whatever a man acts on, that's what he believes in. Okay. So I'll end it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call hello Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rachak Shalom.